Let's discuss this further with Latin America analyst Javier Farje, who joins me now from London. Javier, good to have you on the show. I mean, essentially, this is, if you're to sort of make an analogy to meteorology, this is a superstorm because, and the UN envoy put it really well, you have three crises that have intersected in recent weeks: a gang crisis, an economic crisis, and a political crisis.
Yes, I mean, the perfect storm, no pun intended, obviously. The situation is here. 2021 was a very bad year. The assassination of President Jovenel Moise in July, the earthquake that followed in August, and then the tropical storms. This combination of three factors already made the situation even worse. Now, the gangs, you mentioned the gangs. The gangs are the big problem in Haiti at the moment. Dominican President Luis Abinader described the gun situation in Haiti during a meeting during the Organization of American States of a low-intensity civil war. These gangs that looted these storehouses for food, they control the access to the roads, ports, and airports, for the supplies of fuel and food, which means that it gives them a really powerful position within Haiti, a lawless country in many ways. President Henry, as you mentioned, has been criticized because many people in the opposition believe that he's not the right person to deal with the situation, but also that he is stalling on the calling for a new election because he wants to stay in power longer than he should. So if you combine all these elements, we're talking about, for example, food insecurity. The World Food Program has already said that 4.5 million people face food insecurity, 1.3 million face an emergency situation, which means, and because supplies cannot be safely distributed in Haiti because of the gang problem and the lawlessness of the situation, that makes it even more difficult. Okay. 20,000 people have been displaced only in Port-au-Prince, because of the gang violence, and the government doesn't seem to be capable of controlling this situation. Now, the Dominican Republic is very worried because they 500,000 Haitians live in the Dominican Republic, and many Haitians are trying to escape. They have a border of 400 kilometers with Haiti. They share the island of Hispaniola, and they have warned that the situation is getting worse. The Dominican foreign minister had a meeting with the Security Council, Roberto Alvarez, and also earlier this year, on the 26th. And he said that Haitians are the only people who could solve the problem, but the international community has to do something.
Let me ask you about that, Javier. I mean, because you see, 2022 was a bad year, or is a bad year. 2021 was a bad year, but these problems aren't anything new. I mean, the country is already the poorest in the Western Hemisphere. Is there a genuine lack of interest from the international community to save the country?
There is. Haiti has been always a forgotten country in the region, the Caribbean and Latin America. That's one of the problems. Only now they have started to deliver some supplies of food, but because of the gun problem, it's very difficult for them to do so. On the other hand, as you're right, totally correct. Okay, 2021 was a bad year. This year is a bad year. But this has been going on for at least 20 years. The situation of instability has been going on for at least 20 to 25 years. What's happening now is it's an accumulation of different factors, which makes it very difficult for the international community. Now, the U.S. has tried to help. They have tried, for example, they tried to help in hunting down those people who killed President Moise, but that's not enough. And yes, you're absolutely right. The international community has not shown enough interest. You're talking about the World Food Program. They have shown interest. UNICEF have huge programs to protect 50,000 children who have been displaced as a result of this gun violence. But they find it very difficult. UNICEF has a huge program of help for kids, for children, but they have a huge problem with insecurity. They cannot operate because of the control that gangs have of the country in many ways.
Okay. Javier Farje, live for us from London. Thank you very much for joining us here in today's In Focus segment.